Hi everyone. I want to tell you about another interaction with some little people that I've had recently. So there were these kids, by the way, are between the ages of 3 and 4. There were two kids that were playing and they play together a lot, and all of a sudden I look over and both of them are punching each other. And I was a little bit startled. I, raised my voice a little bit, not screaming, but raised my voice to be heard over the noise of play that was happening. And I, said to both of them, stop, that's not safe. And they did and moved on, and that was fine. About 60 to 90 seconds later, though, another little person that I realized kind of in that moment was in the vicinity of that interaction and would have heard all of that, screamed and threw the toy that they had been playing with. And then they, picked something else up, like looked at me, screamed, threw it, went over and started to kick and move a thing that was set up around and just wreck it. And they kept looking and screaming, and it clicked. I was like, I realized what's happened. So I went up to them and I said, it's okay. I said, listen, I said, when I said that, and when I said the stop and it's not safe, I said, that was not for you, that was for those kids. And they still were upset. They threw something else, and I said, did I startle you? Did I scare you when I did that? Because my voice got louder and I said it very, quickly. And they shook their head yes. And I said, I am so sorry. I did not mean to scare you with my voice and all of that. I said, you're not in trouble. I said, everybody's okay. You're okay. I said, I'm very sorry that I did that. I said, are you okay? And, they shook their head yes. And they quit being dysregulated and throwing things. But I knew they weren't still completely okay. So I asked them if they wanted to play, and we were playing a couple of things, a couple of different little made up on those spot games. And then it kind of, they were building blocks and, doing things like that. And then, I don't know, a couple of minutes later, another kid wanted to play one of the games we were doing, which was I would try to boop them on the arm or the hand, and it's just going boop. And then they would try and do it to me. But when we restarted the game, I looked at the kid who had, become upset by, because they were in the vicinity. And this little person is an amazing human. They're highly sensitive and pick up on very subtle changes in emotion, from the kids around them or the teachers. And I have a good rapport with this kid, and that's why I think I was able to very quickly realize what had happened. Now, when we restarted the game, I wasn't even thinking. For some reason, I was standing up, and I went over and went to boop one of the kids, missed, and then I went to boop the other kid who had become, unintentionally upset. And as I went to do it, it didn't dawn on me when I was doing it, but I was standing up and I kind of bent at the waist to boop their arm. But as I went to do that, they screamed, looked up at me, and I can't even remember, but it was a very much like a this, stop, don't do that. And I very quickly backed away and sat down on the floor. And it took me a second, but I was like, oh my goodness, what I was doing was basically towering over them because they were sitting on the floor. And I'm quite tall, I'm 5'9", and that is very threatening body language. And so I said, oh, I'm so sorry, are you okay? I said, listen, if you don't, want to play with Christina right now, I said, that's okay. You can just tell me to stop. You can say, Christina, I don't like it, or I don't want to, or I'm done playing, or stop. And I said, and I'll leave you alone. It's okay. Because they'd also knocked over some blocks in the process. So I kind of backed off, but I wanted to stay in the vicinity to make sure that they were okay. But it was one of those things that I don't think I would have put 2 and 2 together had I not had a rapport with this person, understood that their nervous system seems to be heightened anyway, naturally, compared to some of the other kids. And so little subtle things like that, we may do can trigger them, and they may feel unsafe. And that's why, it's really important to develop a relationship with the students that you're teaching and have an understanding and rapport with them, because then we can rectify those unintentional mistakes very quickly, remind them that they feel safe, and help them through that. And you'll notice I didn't focus on telling the kid not to throw the thing or not to wreck the displays, that the little things that had been set up. I was like, that wasn't the purpose. That's not going to help anything, right? We need to figure out why this little person is having this big shift in their state, their mood, and what's going on and why. And once I did that and I owned my part, or I explained something, we were able to then reconnect. We played a little game and resolve, and that's what happened this time again. And also, as I'm kind of doing this, I'll be packing something away as we're switching play, and they naturally just didn't have to ask, but they started to help pack away as well. Yeah, so that is another thing I wanted to share with you, and thank you for listening, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.